So infatuated. Yes, and Colton is so infatuated. You know what? That word I'm just not gonna say.
Infatuated.
Infatuated with her.
Hey guys, it's Viv
and G.
Welcome to our channel. So we just finished watching episode 6 of The Bachelor with Colton. I cannot believe how quickly this season's going by.
I know, it's so insane.
We're getting super close to hometown dates.
I know, and they were even talking about them this week.
Like when they were talking about them, I'm like, wait, what?
Oh,
like the show just started.
Yes. So in this episode, we had 2 one-on-ones and 1 group date. But as you know from last week, we had that to be continued. Dun, dun, dun. We ended up seeing the end of the rose ceremony from last week. And just to recap that, we had that whole drama with Anyeka and Nicole. Yeah. I think we all saw this coming when Colton sent both of the girls home. And something that was so hilarious was Nicole, the whole rose ceremony, just weeping. Like, ridiculous.
But the thing is, the way she was weeping, she was like...
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Just cry.
Not a good ugly crier. So now we move from Thailand to Vietnam and we go into our first one-on-one, which is with Hannah G. And the date card read, we really need this date. So if you guys remember, she was the one that got the first impression rose, but we really haven't seen that much of her since then.
For those who go off looks, she's the one that I keep referring to as Barbie because has this beautiful blonde hair, big blue eyes, and she's just this tiny little figure.
Yes, and Colton is so infatuated with her. He said tonight that she's just so stunning, and he really could not keep his hands off her on this date.
This was like another one-on-one with Cassie. Like the whole time they were just making out. Mm-hmm. Any chance they could get, they were making out.
Mm-hmm. So they went to this little spa, they got some face masks, they got a seaweed wrap, and he said some stupid line that I literally cringed at. Something along the lines of like, oh, that's a sushi roll that I would eat. And I was like, Colton, like calm it down, okay? And like we said, they could not keep their hands off each other. During the massage, they were making out. During the mud bath, they were making out. During the shower, they were making out. It was just make out after make out.
Yep. So then we proceed to the night part of the date, and Hannah G really opened up tonight. She opened up about how she really blocks off certain emotions, so certain things that have happened to her in her life. Mm-hmm. She opened up about how her parents got divorced when she was young, which Colton connected to because his parents were also divorced. But I love how Colton really supported her through that and saying, like, you know, it's these types of conversations that you need to have, so you don't always have to block out those type of memories. So that was really sweet. I really liked that.
It was. So some huge, I guess, news that Colton dropped on us tonight is that he is falling in love with Hannah. And I'm pretty sure that's the first person he said that about, right?
I'm pretty sure it was. This was a big deal tonight. For him to, like, even say the word love in a sentence, it's a big deal.
So now we move on to the group date, and there were 8 girls on this group date. Truthfully, it was kind of a stupid group date. Like, nothing really happened. They brought out the host of the Taiwan version of The Bachelor or something.
I don't know, right? But they were doing some, like, Vietnamese fighting.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. But they, like, paired the girls up to, like, box, and it just ended up turning out to be really stupid. And Colton, like, ended up stopping the date.
And you know what's really crazy about this date was, what, half of the girls were feeling super insecure, really just awful that week. They all wanted time with Colton. Yeah. And unless you were someone who has already gotten a one-on-one, everyone was just down. And, like, I felt like it showed through that whole group date. It was almost, like, boring. Everyone was just really sad and, like,
I mean, I guess the most, like, dramatic thing that happened was Demi kind of got punched in the face mistakenly by Katie, and then she was, like, all, like, hated the rest of everything. And Colton, like we said, stopped the date, and he kind of felt bad. He was like, okay, I don't want people to feel like get hurt or feel uncomfortable. So he could definitely tell the vibe was totally off during that group date.
Yeah, which then led us to a really emotional night part of the date.
So the first person that Colton pulls during the night part of the date was Tayshia, one of our favorites. And he told her that he kills for every one-on-one that they have together, which was so sweet and reassuring.
Which was the only reassuring part of the night. Then Sydney, in her little testimonials with the camera crew, was really just like, I don't even know if I should be here. Like, I haven't gotten any one-on-one time. I feel like every other, like, he's giving himself a lot more to these other relationships. And she's just questioning everything.
Yep. Then we see Katie talking to him, and she says that she's so scared and that she would hate for her to go home without Colton thinking that she really tried for this relationship. Right. So it was just, I don't know, like down person after down person.
Right. And then after Katie has her time with Colton, Sydney finally builds up the courage to talk to Colton and ends up pretty much telling him the same thing. Like, every other relationship is out there. Like, you're choosing the easy routes. Which in my head, I'm like, yeah, I think she was partly right. But also, the chemistry he has with some of these girls is, like, through the roof. So, I don't know. Like, sorry, Sydney. He didn't have as much chemistry with you as he did with some of the other girls.
Yeah.
And in the end, Sydney decides, you know, it's time for her to leave. That her relationship with Colton isn't going to progress as she would like it to. And as she was leaving, you know, I was telling Jim, like, if Colton really wanted her to stay, I feel like he would have tried a little harder. Yeah. So I think it was a good move, like, overall for Colton and Sydney.
Yeah, she probably would have got sent home this week anyways.
Yeah.
So as Sydney's leaving and Colton is walking her out, she says to him, you know, I really hope you figure this out. And saying, you know, some of these girls are here for the right reasons and some of them aren't.
Throughout this episode, that was a very, very trendy topic.
And then the group date Rose ended up going to one of our favorites, Tayshia.
Yes.
So happy for her and can't wait to see her next week.
She definitely makes Colton very calm.
Oh, yeah.
And relaxed and just at ease. Which is really, really nice to see.
It is. So now we go to the last one-on-one of tonight, and that is with Kirpa, who I was kind of surprised got a one-on-one.
I kind of wasn't. I feel like the whole, even though they didn't play it out in the last episode last week, where she apparently fell in the ocean and slipped on a rock and got some stitches.
Yeah, she was trying to take an Instagram photo, she said. We found out.
I feel like because she had a trip to the hospital, I feel like Colton felt bad and maybe gave her the one-on-one date. Because she really hasn't had a ton of, like, camera time. I don't know. That was kind of my thought on it.
During this date, they head over to the ocean and they go fishing for some...
it's like the black, super spiky thing.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Urchin?
Oh, sea urchins. Sea urchins. And they seemed like they had a good time. They actually had some good conversations during this date, but it was just a basic bachelor date, nothing special.
Yeah, Colton was really talking this date up, and, like, I'm happy for him, but I was bored.
Yeah,
I don't know. I was telling G, I'm like, she didn't even smile, like, the whole time. She smiled at the end, but, like, I don't know. I was missing, like, the spark.
So during the dinner, I'm not sure if we knew this previously, but Colton did mention that Kirpa has been engaged before, and she actually was in an 8-year relationship with someone that was saving himself for marriage. So she said going into this, the whole virgin thing wasn't a big deal to her at all. And she said that nothing bad happened in her past relationship. It was this, they kind of grew apart and they got really comfortable with each other and just weren't challenging each other anymore. So she said that's something that she wants and needs in her next relationship. And he was kind of concerned about her not being ready to get engaged again, but she definitely reassured him that that is something that she wants. And if their relationship continues to grow as it has been, then she definitely thinks that she would be ready for engagement with him.
Yeah, I don't believe that, but yes.
See, I thought you know, like Viv was saying, she wasn't smiling and like all giggly like some of these other girls are. But I don't know, I just felt like she was so real and just genuine and
yeah, I feel like she was
playing
real.
up for the TV, and I don't know.
I feel like she was real. Don't get me wrong. I think Kirpa is a real person. But like, if you have butterflies and you're on a date with this guy,
yeah, it's gonna show.
Come on. Maybe they didn't show it. Maybe the producers decided to cut all the chemistry out, but I didn't see any chemistry.
Yeah.
I don't know. But at the end of the day, she got the one-on-one rose. So once Kirpa got home from her date with Colton, Demi was in the bathroom getting all dolled up and walked over to Colton's suite. Where he was surprised, but it was so cute. He got a bottle of wine, poured her a glass, being super gentleman. And that was the high point of that for Demi.
I think the high point for me was when she said, "Hey, Coco." I was like, what? No, please don't ever call him that again.
Yeah.
So she ends up opening up to him, saying that she is falling in love with him. And sadly for her, he was not feeling the same way. And he said, you know what, I really just don't think I can get there with you. And he ended up sending her home. And like Viv said before, that pattern came out where she said, you know, some of the girls are really great here, but, you know, make sure you find the good ones and kind of, you know, steer clear of everyone else. So, I don't know, Colton. Definitely got to figure something out.
Yep.
So now it's time for the cocktail party. And this is everyone's last little chance to talk to Colton and, you know, connect with him before the rose ceremony. But no. Chris Harrison comes in like he has many times before, saying the Bachelor, this time being Colton, knows what he wants to do, and we're going right to the rose ceremony. There will be no cocktail party. So, during this rose ceremony, we see one girl go home, which we were very sad about.
She was in my top 3.
Ugh. And that was Katie.
Beautiful Katie.
I know. And she seemed like such a real person, too.
I will say, though, in this episode, she really got, like, tense during that group date, but he sent her home.
And she said, she was like, I knew just from your body language that things were off with us. He walked her out. And truthfully, this seemed like the hardest goodbye for him so far. Do you not agree?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, I think that this was the hardest goodbye for him so far. And, you know, they both wished each other the best. And then again,
3 times tonight,
she says, you know, you really need to figure this out and, you know, don't just stare at the shiny objects. And that really shook Colton now that he's heard this over and over again and thinking that some of the girls aren't ready for marriage. So when he goes in to give that final toast with everyone that got a rose tonight, he straight up says to them, you know, I've heard now from 3 women that some of you guys are not here for the right reasons or maybe not being ready for marriage, and this is what he's looking for. This is what he wants at the end of this. So it really shook him up, and he definitely has a lot of thinking to do this next week. And I really can't wait for next week's episode.
Next week, I feel like Colton is just going through this like roller coaster of emotions with these group of girls. Like, I feel bad, but I also feel like it's making him really reflect and grow a lot on this journey. But now that we have said bye to Katie, gee, who would you say our top 3 are? Who are Colton's top 3?
I want to say Cassie. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of Kaylin, but I feel like it's still Kaylin. And then Tayshia, for sure.
Yeah, I think Tayshia is like knocked some people out and is in that 3rd spot right now because she's really calmed him down. She got the group date rose, so she's making moves.
And I really think if Tayshia and Kaylin don't win, I think those 2 for me are like Bachelorette material.
Yes! Gets me super excited for next season.
I know. We're like, wait, like, let's go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so you can see every time we upload a new video.
Yes, and we are super excited to watch The Bachelor next week as it looks to be super dramatic. See you guys next week. Bye.